Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning, Nura Azwin. So, because of today is Good Friday, so I think I don't want to disturb your time with your family. So, I just use this video to teach you the subject on climate change. And today, because chapter number 3 is about adaptation, chapter number 4 is about adaptation practice, and right now we go to a new chapter where one of the way how to prevent the climate change itself, that is mitigation policy. Okay, so what is the difference between mitigation and adaptation, and we will know the difference within this slide. Okay, so we will start our first slide. Okay, so our first slide is about, okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, okay, our first slide is about introduction of mitigation. So you have to know what is the definition of mitigation first. Okay, mitigation of climate change mean the effort to reduce and prevent build up of GHG in the atmospheres. So basically is this is quite different from the adaptation that we learned before. So adaptation is when the moment the people or the the earther, the one who we as a person have to be adapt with the climate change that happen to us. But mitigation is where we try to minimize the effect of the climate change toward us. So instead of adapt to all the climate change that we give to us, we try to fix the climate change itself. Okay, so if adaptation can be analogical, can be as same as if adaptation can be digambarkan as if someone give you lemon, you make a lemonade. So but in mitigation, if someone asks you for a lemon, you have to ask something not sour as lemon, such as apple, because you don't want to adapt to something that is sour, so you ask for something sweet. That is mitigation. Okay, for tourism, it's relate mainly to CO2 because just like the definition said before, we want to reduce the GHG. So in tourism, the first factor or cause of greenhouse gas emission is the carbon dioxide itself. So we have to reduce the CO2 in order to reduce the GHG, because CO2 is the factor or the cause of GHG emission, greenhouse gas emission. Okay, so what is the declaration that cause this mitigation action? That is the Jerba declaration. Okay, so the Jerba declaration is the one who declare or start this mitigation action or mitigation activity. So they are the one who suggested, okay, instead of doing this kind of thing that are not really effective, how about we do a mitigation action that is more effective to solve the climate change itself. So, mitigation policy and action by local government and destination state region often related to first, because we are talking about tourism. So, mitigation policy of a country or mitigation policy of a place are actually related to transportation, renewable energy, energy efficient, emission, and also cap. All of these things is cap is about the taxing. Okay, so all of these things are related about tourism. So in order to solve the climate change, you have to solve and ensure that all of this component is good enough and do not release a lot of carbon dioxide. Okay, so next is, okay, so some of the businesses uh, take action, that is take mitigation action because of some agenda. Okay, why they want to take this, why they want to do a mitigation action. Okay, first is to influence or preempt government action, because government is the one who give the grant or do give their project. So if they are not practicing a very good environmental friendly practice, the government will not give them plan, or the government will not give them project, because the project that when the government give the project to a company that not really love the nature, it will eventually destroy the country itself. And one more is the government will be mocked by the rakyat, because why the government does a bad decision to give a project to a company that not really ethical. Okay, so second is to create a financial benefit, because the technology that use a green technology is although they are more expensive, but they produce uh they produce a product that is good for environment. Okay, and one more thing, when the product is good for environment, the customer will attract to your product, because it is something that ethical, and you can promote yourself as a ethical company. That can be as one of the marketing effort. Okay, to differentiate a company or its product brand from competitor. Yes, because if the competitor use something that not environmental friendly, you can promote yourself as a environmental friendly company. So right now, nowadays trend is sustainable tourism or sustainable action. So because of this kind of trend, people right now will tend to go for a more healthy and environmental friendly option. So if you choose to go for this kind of option, it will be good for your company, because it will be something that differentiate your company between other company that not really use the environment green practice. Okay, okay, so business level mitigation. So we have a few level. First is business, second is country, third is national, and lastly is, I think, is world. Okay, global. Okay, so business level mitigation process, mitigation policy. So some of the businesses that I said before, why they want to go for this mitigation policy, because they want government to give them project. Second, because it is good market differentiation, because it's something that advantage for their company. And lastly, just like I said before, it will benefit the economic for the for the company itself. So business level mitigation, there are one bodies that represent all the tourism company in the world. So it's not like all the company, all the largest tourism company. Okay, the name of the company is the World Travel and Tourism Council, that is WTTC. Okay, so however, just like I said before, WTTC only represent world largest company. But how about a small company? So small company, because they are so small, they are not represented by anybody. So because of this kind of thing, it will be hard for them to implement the environmental friendly mitigation action. Okay, so on the next slide, so we will learn about business level mitigation policy. So this is why the continuation sambungan kepada the one who I say why some of the businesses want to go for a business mitigation action. Okay, so firstly is they want to develop a numerous tourism code, guides, policies, and reducing GHG emission, because by doing this mitigation policy, they can also build their own policy that will help the world to reduce the GHG emission. Okay. Second is cost saving, redundant with the first one that we go for. Third is appealing to green consumer. Okay, I also have discussed about this kind of consumer. So a green consumer is the one who love the green or environmental friendly product. So once they saw your company going for environmental friendly things, so it will be good for you to market yourself as a green company. Okay. Fourth is influencing and preempting the government policy, just like I said before in the previous slide. Risk management. Okay, so if your company is not complying with the environmental policy, it will very risky for your company, because your company are using something that will destroy the environment. It is a big risk not only for the company but also for the world. So if you go for an environmental friendly, the risk will be reduced. Okay. Lastly is product development. So you can go for a new innovation where you can produce some product that is more innovative, reduce can be more innovative, green technology innovation or technology that is good for environment, and it will good for your product, because it is your product is developed from not really good to the environment to a better for environment. Okay. So that is the reason why some of the businesses pursuing this environmental climate change mitigation. Okay. So this is the case study. One of the famous hotel in the world is Accor Hotel. So Accor Hotel, one of the Accor Hotel in Malaysia is in Langkawi. So because this Accor Hotel is a very big hotel, so they have a very numerous number of facilities, and because the facility is using the electricity, so they release the CO2, that is carbon dioxide, and it is 1,900,032 ton of CO2, 32,000 ton of CO2. Okay, every day. It's not every day, every year. So environmental charter at the Accor hotel found that this kind of thing is worrying. So they should come with an action. Okay, some solution. So this is some introduction of the Eco Hotel, a global network of hotels with headquarters in France and known for leadership and environmental management. So they are very famous with their environmental friendly policies, and also the leadership that want for environmental friendly management. Okay. So second is Anchor 2,806 facilities consume 4,974 and ohm of what of energy, equivalent to the domestic consumption of city of 5,000 and 5,900 5 590,000 people. Okay. So imagine that just this one building consume electricity similar as 590,000 people in a city. So it's kind of alarming, because one building consume electricity as same as 500,000 of people. So you can imagine that how many there are so many carbon dioxide that will be emit from one the only building. Okay. So second is Anchor created environmental charter, just like I said before. The management come out with environmental charter to solve this problem. So what is the environmental charter that they come? Okay, so this is all the environmental charter that they come out. Okay, so first is monitor and analyze consumption every month. Okay, all of this action you can read by yourself, and this is the solution how Accor Hotel to in order to reduce the CO2 gas emerged from their facilities. Okay. Okay, so this is other example of tourism business mitigation policy. For example, Avis is a